Hello, my YouTube world. This is Johnny Moe coming to you today with a message to all stander makers. Hello, my YouTube world. And yep, I said it. The things I would do different if I was a stander maker. This is coming from a guy after 23 years of experience. These are some things that I would definitely do to improve upon your stander. So they say that these things are the wave of the future. And please, I have a review coming up, sit versus stand. This is not it yet, but if you're a stander guy and you like standing all day long, these are some things that if I was a stander maker, this is what I would be looking at. Number one, which Ferris did a great job. This pad is super comfortable. Excellent pad. Out of all the standers I've tested, this is the most comfortable pad. Your knees press in real nice, real soft, does not hurt the knee at all. There's no harsh abrasion on the knees. You can see these are where my knees go. You can see the indent. You can actually see, maybe if the camera picks up, you can see a little bit of dirt. But Ferris did a great job. So if you're a stander maker, this right here, make sure your pad is nice and soft because your knees are being planted into that thing and you're up against it, and you want to make sure that that thing is soft, very good comfortability. You get on that and you're like, yes, that's comfortable. Another thing that I would do, just some things that I notice right here, my foot rubs on these two sides. Now on the ZK Killer, all the changing of the heights is right here, so my calf was actually hitting on this, where that little pin goes in for the deck assist. So my calf was hitting that. Didn't like that. But this one doesn't particularly have it, so not a big deal. But my foot does rub right here against this. And I don't wear boots, I wear tennis shoes. So if I was a stander maker, I would put some type of padding here, so your foot goes up against something soft. I understand that this is a platform and you might lose a little bit of space here, but engineer it so there's a nice little soft pad there. I would put that there. Another thing which Ferris has done a very good job, it's been the most comfortable standard that I've been on. This and the ZK Killer have been comfortable. I would make that platform as comfortable as possible. This is the most comfortable I've been on, hands down. But I think it could be a little bit, think about it. You're on this all day. You want it to be as comfortable as absolutely possible. I would definitely put a lot of research and development in making this comfortable. That putting pads on the side where your feet go up against, definitely something, if I was a stander maker, that I would do. Now, these things are going to be around for a while. So I'm just giving tips to stander makers. Hey, this is what I'm thinking of when I'm riding it. This is what I'm feeling. If I'm going to drop 10 grand, because this sticker's about 9.3 to 9.5, and you could probably get it between 8,800 and 9,300. So you're somewhere in there. You could probably get it a little cheaper if it's a held over or something. You might be able to get it for 8,200, but its stickers of almost 9,500 for this particular setup. If I'm a stander maker, I want to make it as easy as possible with deck to tire ratio. These are 23-inch tires, which I understand that these are 3,400 pumps, a little bit on the small side. And what I'm thinking is that the bigger the tire, the harder that pump has to work, and that's the right ratio. That's just me after 23 years thinking about it. But here's an issue. This tire leaves about, 6, 7, 8 inches. It might even be 8 inches out there. I should just tape it off and find out. But it leaves about 6, 7, 8 inches out there. The problem is when you turn around and you're on their stripe, you're trying to match that deck up with the uncut section. So if there's 8 inches overlap, you're trying to find the 6 or 7 mark so you don't miss something. Very hard to do. If that was a 24-inch tire, it's okay to miss a few inches, but sometimes you're missing up 4 to 5 inches. There's no sense having a 61-inch deck if you can't utilize the whole thing. Now, I'm sure after a lot of time, and you could get really good at it, but you're going to be losing a lot of deck. And to me, if you're going to lose 4 or 5 inches of deck every single turn, it's just not really worth it having a 61-inch deck. You might as well go with a 52. It's in more. You're not going to lose as much because if you're only a couple inches off the tire, like if you're 3 inches off the tire, that gives you enough. But if that was a 26-inch tire, it'd be right up. It'd be right up against the deck, and there's no trim side stability. And what happens is you start rubbing this tire everywhere. Like you're rubbing it on everything, and that's not good for the tire. So there has to be a medium balance. I think it was a 24 tire. I think it would be perfect. I think it would be perfect. But I'm sure the hydros have a little bit to do with that. So if I was a stander maker, these are some things that I would consider. Now, if I was a stander maker, I don't know how you fix this. I think Wright, when I demoed the ZK Killer, it had a little bit better system here. It locked itself in place, or it could only go up one click or something. I can't remember. It's been about a month since I demoed it. But this here, so you pull it back. Now, in order to make this easy, I'm sure they had to make this, it's nice and easy. You could pull it back. There's no strain on your arm. But what I'm thinking is, this is a big thing here. So I'm cutting a 2-acre lawn the other day. I get about 3/4 of the way done. And I just keep noticing, man, this grass don't look like it's cutting very good. Jeez, man, I don't know about this, man. This deck just not doing a good job today. Well, it turned out I hit a bump and it jacked itself up into the transport location. I had to go back and cut it. I must have went around that same bump because when I looked down again, it was clicked up again. I don't know how you fix it, but if I was a stander maker and you want someone like me to look into standers, that is an issue. That is a issue. That bothered me. If you're cutting smooth lawns all day long, then no big deal. But listen, if you're going to go out and you're going to advertise that you got the soft ride stand on and you got all this nice, comfortability, you're known as being comfortable, you got to put a little bit more research and development into this. And you might be doing that. I don't know. But if I was a stand-on maker, this is annoying. My zero turns never do this. Never. And that's annoying. I could tell you that every time I hit a bump, I'm looking right down there now. So, if I was a stander maker, these are some things that I would look at when I'm building stander. Another thing is maintenance. Most guys out in the field, they really like doing maintenance. There's something like a pride to it. Like I'm going to change your oil today, or I'm going to change your hydraulic fluid. Now, changing hydraulic fluid today is a process as opposed to what it was back in the day. I mean, you just pulled the filter off, drained it, put the filter back on, topped it off, and you're off and going. Today, this is a 2-3 hour process, especially on the 5400 pumps, because they take 5 quarts of oil. So you got to put a quart in, go monkey around till it drops all the way down, then put another quarter in. I mean, you're doing 10 quarts of oil. It's a process. It's like hours. And if you take it to the dealer, it's a $200 to $300 bill. I mean, it's just a process. Now, do I like the unitized pumps? I absolutely love the unitized pumps. I've never blown a unitized pump. I'm not saying you can't. I just never have. Now, when they were pumps and wheel motors, about every 400 to 800 hours, I was blowing one. Granted, I'm a bigger guy, and I was bagging. I understand that. But on my Snapper Pro 5400 pumps, that's all that mower did was bag. And I never blew. Never once. Strong. The day I got rid of that mower, they were still strong as ever. Now, so when you're dealing with hydro gear, seems to be a hydro gear issue, unitized pumps, what you have to do is take the filter out, drain the oil, put the filter back on, undo these caps, put the oil in there, and it'll drain down. The only way it's going to drain down, though, is if you take the breather caps off. Well, I don't know if you see this, but man, you ain't getting through there. My hands ain't getting through there. So my assumption is there's got to be a way to get through it after I take these tires off. Maybe there's a hole. There is a hole, a couple holes down there. I hope I can reach them. Look at this. Even if I took these bolts out, which I'm hoping that on the other side they're fixed bolts, because if they're not, how am I going to put that nut back in and hold it and twist? I don't know, guys. I'm not sure about that one. Things that I would think of when I was selling or building a stand-on unit for these companies. This oil guard system, I mean, you can't get any easier than that. You just pull it out, boom, drop it. This is probably going to be the wave of the future, what I'm assuming. But even the 2-quart system, make sure that you can get your hand in there. Make sure you can get that filter off. Make it easy. Develop it. Do something to make it, make sure, like there's a pipe coming out with the oil drain going through the frame, and there's nothing impeding the oil flow in the frame. And then put a bucket under there, and you can catch it. You can just twist it on, twist it off. You know, the on-off system. Make it easy for us guys. You know, don't make it to the point where you got to take it to a mechanic, spend $300-400 on a simple hydraulic change when you can do that at home yourself. Now, these only, I believe, take 2 quarts a side. So, not a big fan of the smaller pumps. So, I like the 5400s, the 4400s, but that adds weight. Just my opinion. I'm not sure, and I'm not saying this for standers that use these size pumps. I'm just not sure the way these pumps can get heated up. I'm not sure if these are great pumps or what they are. I know this mower is absolutely fast, so I'm sure these pumps get heated up pretty darn quick. I haven't been able to take a temperature reading on this. I take temperature readings on my 5400s, and they're around 160 to 180 after I cut like a big 2-acre property on a hot day. I've had readings of 189, 163. So what's pretty cool is when I read it, like the engine will be up there around 180, but the oil guard system is like 130. So there's a definite temperature change difference between the two. And I think that's cool how the temperatures changed between the engines. So this oil is definitely cooler in here than it is in the engine. So I thought that was pretty cool. So guys, these are some things that I would do a little bit different if I were making a stand-on unit. Just some ideas for the stand-on companies. I think these are going to be around, and please stay tuned because I'm going to be doing a video of sit versus stand. That's going to be my next video. You're not going to want to miss this. Do I think that the standing is the best way to go? Or do I think sitting is the best way to go? You're not going to want to miss this because I'm going to delve in to every aspect of sitting versus standing. And there's going to be some things in here that no one has ever told you about sitting versus standing. Thanks, guys. See you on the next video.